3, 2, 1, Spiderman!
Spiderman!
Okay, I'm gonna start with the thing, I gotta be honest, out of everything in this movie, everything, the thing that got the highest reaction from me, out of, you know, the crazy villain fights, the plot twist after the credits, no, the biggest reaction to me was the sheer irresponsibility of Tony Stark giving a 16-year-old a multi-billion-dollar space satellite drone program. That shit, I gotta be honest, when he accidentally called a death drone, like, here's the thing, man. There's so many things wrong with that. Number one is, okay, any sane human being, which I know Tony Stark is not, but let's just go with it here. Any sane human being would have so many safeguards on that. Like, okay, are you sure you want to send the death drone? Are you super duper sure? You know, click twice, you know, like, are you a bot? Click the rock 3 times. Which one of these is a street sign? How many times do you need to make sure before you send a death drone? No. With Peter, it was, oh, I'm sorry, I'm on a loud bus, so I didn't hear you, so I'm going to assume that you want to send this death drone.
All over...
Oh. That shit killed me. I was like dying, and the funny part is, I feel like I was the only person in the theater that found it as funny as I did, because like I
about fell out of my seat, man. I'm like, okay, you got caught with your pants down, literally.
Oh.
How many?
The logistics of that is just beautiful. Edith, by the way, and I'm happy to see that Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark is living on through his egocentricism. The fact that I love that it's called Even Dead, I'm the Hero. I'm like, that's beautiful.
Even Dead, I'm the hero.
And
God, he's an egotistical prick, and I love him.
And again, there's so many things wrong with that drone thing. Like, the fact that Nick Fury and Happy were like, yeah, sure, knowing what this is, we'll give it to Peter. What? I'm sorry. Oh
yeah, that struck me as like just Tony Stark being Tony Stark.
Bro,
I mean,
Tony doesn't give a fuck. I had forgotten this like irresponsible, shitty side of, because I mean, it makes sense if you think about like what Tony did early OG Iron Man. Like, he would just like risk starting wars and like destroying U.S. foreign policy by like casually flying into like war zones. Like, so I mean, I guess but the thing is, dude, I'm seeing how advanced his drone system is. Like, there's a fucking satellite base orbiting the fucking Earth with a bunch of different drones. That shit, like, and I know in Iron Man 2, they're, like, the government's trying to get him to, like, work for that. Because, you know, any government would be uncomfortable with the fact that this random billionaire has way more, like, military power than the entirety of the U.S. government. You know what I mean? Like, this is, you thought Obama was bad with drones? Holy shit. So, like... I would have liked to see more of that in retrospect, considering how vast his fucking
we kind of did
$multi-billion network, and like, think about the other shit he can do, like casually with these glasses were my favorite part of the movie. I'll be honest, like casually.
I kind of want an Edith of my own.
Oh,
I swear I'll be a good boy.
Just casually, like, yo, Edith, hack into that guy's phone and delete that nude of me. Thank you.
Well, I mean, it wasn't a nude.
I know. I was simplifying.
Could you imagine just the sheer irresponsible use that Peter's going to have with this shit?
Well, but I feel like he clearly. I mean, you can tell he truly is, or has the heroistic mentality from the fact that he wanted to give it away. That's a very telltale sign that he is a good hero. Like, legit. Oh, yeah. Because most people would be like Light in the Death Note with that shit. Like, fuck yes, I'll change the world. You know, because like, I just can't get over those fucking glasses.
Those fucking glasses.
I need a fucking Marvel Wikipedia page, like a Marvel Wiki page right now on all the stats of what that thing can do.
Well, I mean, it has access to every bit of Stark tech.
Oh, God.
So he could literally call down a nuclear strike if he wanted to.
Could he? I would hope that Stark doesn't have access to nukes. I guess
he made warheads.
He probably. Oh yeah, he did. Fuck. Did he make nukes though? I feel like the government would really keep a tight lock on that.
He made fucking ballistic missiles.
Oh.
I don't doubt that Stark has nukes at this point. He made a fucking reactor to power his goddamn heart.
Okay, so even basically at this point, even going off of like the most conservative estimates, like just not even over exaggerating. Let's say at the max, Peter has like, let's say one of the missiles that he showed off in Iron Man, right? Okay, so he's got a couple of those, right? Peter, with these glasses, could literally end the world. Like, he could just start World War III.
Yep.
Just one...
Accidentally.
One bad day, one pissed off hormonal day, you know, maybe MJ gets a little mad at him, makes him sleep on the couch. He's like, fuck it. I'm fucking wiping Iran off the face of the planet.
Jesus Christ.
Let's see them shoot down this drone.
Fucking hell, man.
Come on, that's topical.
It's topical. Jesus Christ. You know, it's scary how much fucking...
I just couldn't, you know, I had to fucking rant about those glasses. Like, that was the... Oh, my God. There'll be more to talk about, but Jesus.
The unrestricted access he has with those glasses is terrifying.
Yeah, and then he just decided to give it to a random fucking guy.
Well, to be fair, he filled that void.
Yeah, it's true.
You know,
I mean that is the youngness of Peter coming out there. You know, he's what I really liked going more into the movie here. I loved the balance that he was trying to play of like how he really badly wanted to just be a normal kid. You know, and he's crushing right now. He's got his crush, and I just want
to kiss MJ at the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, and the innocence, bro. I want to hold her hand, and I want to watch movies with her on the flight. I'm like, oh.
The sappy romance part of that's what I love about Spider-Man.
Because he's an innocent boy with the power of every drone in the fucking world. Yeah.
No, like the sheer high school innocence of it is so fucking endearing, really, and the MCU captures that really well. There's no cringy dance of emo Peter. You know, it's just fucking wholesome romance. You know, he wants wants to get a little bit lucky.
I almost feel like he's so innocent. I didn't even get any vibe of like sexual stuff with him. Like that would come later. He gives me the vibe of someone that'd be like, no, I'll wait at least a half a year. That's the kind of guy I am. You gotta slowly escalate with these things, David. You gotta start with kissing, then cuddling, then slight groping. You know, you escalate. You can't just jump right into full-on sex.
You seriously, Red, are too innocent.
No, because that ruins the fun, bro. That's like going to Cedar Point and immediately riding the Top Thrill Dragster. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Cedar Point's one of the places with the world's biggest roller coaster, or one of the world's biggest roller coasters, and like if that'd be like going there and like jumping immediately to the world's biggest roller coaster. Everything after that is a letdown.
Oh, we see who peaked.
Either way, no. Let's talk more. Okay, so a lot of things to talk about. One, I have to hold up. Let me say a thing, and then I'll next point I'll let be yours. So, as you know, we all know that usually Marvel, what do they struggle with? Villains. I thought that this villain was one of the best Marvel villains, period.
You see, I was kind of concerned when they said they were going to focus on the elementals and all that shit with Mysterio.
The elementals were a troll, bro!
Yeah, but still, like, the amount of work that they put into the elementals, you know, with the CGI is fucking amazing.
Yeah. Like, can we talk about the villain and how awesome he was, please?
Like, the amount of trickery they put into Mysterio really fucking sold the bullshit master that he is.
I just have to, like, here's how, and they did it so, because I haven't read the comics, but I assume, you know, the MCU, like, masterfully, like, did what they do best, which is update it to nowadays, right? So, the focus on drones and holographic technology, I thought that was genius. And, like, the fact that he's wearing, like, that suit that you wear when you're doing, like, mocap for shit. Just so much of it worked. And it was, like, it was one of those things where I looked at this villain and I was like, this is actually one of the most creative villains. I've never seen anything like this. Like, his plan made sense. I thought it was really cool. I loved his motivation. I loved the moment where it was flashing back to I believe it was Iron Man 2 or maybe Iron Man 3 where he was introducing the because I remember that's from an earlier movie where he's like, oh, he's showing his old dad and he's like, Barf. I named it Barf. And I was like, bro, now I want to go back and watch. Was that guy in that movie or was that an added scene? So that was a great foreshadowing. And then the foreshadowing of the guy running his computer was the guy that Stain yelled at in the first Iron Man. I was like, oh, it works so well.
See, that's what I love and I hate about the MCU.
No, fuck you. No reason to
No,
hate
fuck you. Hear me out.
Okay.
They really over-rely on the Iron Man mythos at this point because that was their foundation.
I guess.
As nice as it is to weave everything together, there are other heroes or other movies that they have in the cinematic universe that they could incorporate.
I feel you. I get that.
So, I love and I hate that they've woven everything together. They obviously with Spider-Man, with him being the protege to Tony Stark, it makes sense to use his. But moving forward, I'd like to see them, weave in like stuff from Ant-Man more, or Captain America.
I do agree with that. What I will say though is I just think that the idea of like a group of people that have been wronged by Tony Stark coming together, like I think that's really cool because of course he was definitely a fucking prick.
And it makes sense, from both the comic book standpoint and from the MCU fanboy standpoint. Like he is a fucking worthless prick usually, so he is the scum of the earth, so it makes sense the amount of people he's fucked over.
And it's also like because when you're first watching, I don't remember. Do you remember what movie it was when he was doing the hologram thing?
I think it was Iron Man 3.
One of those. Either way, though. So when you're first watching that, like...
Correct us if we're wrong.
Yeah. No one is thinking, like, I remember that scene very well. And I remember when I was watching that, nowhere in the back of my head was I like... Oh man, you just laugh at the Barf thing, like, haha, he named it Barf, but you never think about, the thousands of employees he had that probably put hours of work into it for him to just come out and make it a punchline. No one even thought about that's such a. I just love that as a motive. I never would have thought about it, and I want to hear more of your thoughts on the villain because you've kind of dodged that question because I really I loved the villain.
So, with Mysterio, they were pretty faithful to him. Obviously, he's a master of illusions. Updating him with
the great update to modern day, I thought.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, utilizing the drones for this whole master plan to kind of be like, welcome to the Tony Stark fucked us over foundation. It's beautiful, but at the same time, I'm curious where they're going to go moving forward.
Yeah, let's talk about the fucking crazy plot twist in the after credits. Holy shit.
Yeah, so like with Mysterio manipulating footage, turning I love it.
Wow. Yeah, so I assume that
fucking Simmons.
Spider-Man 3 is going to be nuts. I mean, I don't even know the whole world, oh my god. That's insane. Now people think that Peter Parker, not only do they know he's Spider-Man, but also now people just think that Peter Parker is this madman that's stolen Iron Man's technology and he's just gonna wage war on the world. Yeah,
so that's an amazing callback to the Raimi-verse, with fucking J.K. Simmons playing.
Yeah, no, the guy coming back, bro. What was his name? The fucking
J.K. Simmons playing J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh,
yes,
my heart.
Yeah, he went from playing
Spider-Man.
I think he went from playing. I'm not the biggest DCEU fan, but I think he was playing Commissioner Gordon in that. And then he came back to playing a role he was meant for.
He was born to be the douchey.
He was born to be fucking JJ. My
can we just
God.
Appreciate that because I didn't he even voice it in the video game? Didn't he voice it too? It sounded like him.
I'm actually pulling that up.
But
I love that they turned him into Alex Jones in this too.
He's like, Spider-Man. I knew it.
Even the funny thing is they kind of even turned the fucking screen into InfoWars.
And you know what's great too? Because obviously we haven't seen that guy in this verse. But you can almost connect the verses and you know what I mean? Because the way that he was speaking in that post-credit scene, it made it feel like he has been trying to get dirt on Spider-Man his whole life. You know what I mean? It was finally, I knew it. Spider-Man's a dick.
Exactly. Yeah, he was Commissioner Gordon in Justice League in the DCEU. And he's going to be reprising it for the Batman. So he's another one of these that are working for both.
What a badass. I really hope there's an interview with him somewhere. How did it feel to get back into that role?
I'm not seeing him listed for.
It just sounded like him, but
It really does.
Because one of my favorite memes is the when he's laughing, like yeah, and then he's like, "You serious?" He's so good.
Exactly. It's so fucking. I really, really, really wanted him to be. If they brought Jameson back into the mythos of Spider-Man in the MCU, there was not a better person to play him.
Ugh.
Like, he was made for this fucking role.
He was born to be the douchey reporter that hates Spider-Man. Like, that was his purpose.
It really was.
He's got it down, man.
Yeah. So
question for you is, okay. So I guess first we'll talk. We're gonna go in weird order because that's how we do things here. So before we go back to like earlier stuff in the movie, your thoughts on where this cliffhanger goes into what I assume will be Spider-Man 3.
So what they've kind of done here by revealing his identity is, remember, I kept saying when Civil War came out that they kind of threw a twist on, he's the one that reveals his identity, and then everything that he loves and stands for kind of gets fucked over. So I can see, especially how they've done it here and made him into essentially a fucking terrorist.
Yeah.
Especially, this is so masterful. Like, in this modern era, they could go like, well, clearly it's edited footage,
Yeah,
Spider-Man's our hero.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because my thing is, I don't know what Nick Fury's doing right now, and I also don't know, because I assume...
Aside from being on a Skrull ship.
Well, yeah, we do know that, and we'll get to that in a second, but first I want to say... Okay, so first thing I need to say is, I'm guessing that the public isn't aware of Nick Fury. Like, he's like an undercover agent that the public has no knowledge of, I'm guessing, yeah?
I'm assuming so.
So, okay, so that's number one. So, because first thing I was going to say was, if Nick Fury had, like, any sort of clout in the world, he could just come out and be like, because, like, what should have happened, this is what pisses me off, man. Like, this is why all these governments that want to keep fucking secrets, or these societies that need to keep secrets or whatever, what they should have did immediately was come out to the public immediately on news and everything and say, oh, this Mysterio guy, he was a fake, he was doing all these drones, he was fucking with you, and Spider-Man fucking uncovered it. If they would have reported that the second that it came out, then this fake footage couldn't have done shit, because people would have been like, oh yeah, of course, he was faking it, so of course he would do
exactly.
This. So, like, that is, honestly, it comes down to them keeping it a secret, like idiots. A lot of times truth is the best answer. And there's argument to be made. Like, if Spider-Man and Nick Fury and, obviously Nick Fury's in space, and we'll go into that in a second, but if they wanted to come out and be like, look at the footage of that final battle, do you guys not see the fucking holograms and shit?
Exactly. Like, you even in the doctored footage, like, you can see the holograms, so you're like, okay, yeah, this is clearly fake. So
I love, also, does that imply that, like, as he was dying from his, like, gunshot wound, wait, hold on, he's like bleeding out as an editor, I respect this. He was bleeding out on the floor, and he opened up Adobe Premiere Pro on his little fucking Apple Watch.
One last shitpost.
Oh god, it's rendering. Gotta hold out.
Gotta hold the blood in. Maybe part
Schedule
of my fucking
it to YouTube for 2 days from now. I didn't get to thumbnail it.
Jesus Christ.
He needs to make like an exposed with like a red circle and an arrow.
Spider-Man exposed.
Totally not Mysterio YouTube channel.
Oh my god. But with the era we're in, like that really brings a whole new meaning into this little Spider-Man mythos. So yeah. It's actually a genius fucking twist. So
I'm down.
It kind of comes down to the skepticism fucking world that we're in, where like, is it real, or is it, just another conspiracy theory? Is it, and the Daily Bugle always has been like that fucking, the shitty,
like the fucking
tabloid,
the Inquisitor or whatever.
Yeah, they were kind of like your tabloids and shit, while also being a newspaper. It just depends on what fucking. Welcome to comics is all I can say.
I suppose not everyone would believe it, but like at the very least, what's gonna happen from this is now that they know now that everyone knows it's Peter Parker, and there's like one hell of an accusation on him, immediately the government's gonna apprehend him, or at least try to. You know what I mean? Like so he's probably gonna have to at the very least go in for trial. I would hope he could call in you know, if they really wanted to go epic with it and do some crossover shit, he could probably call in different Avengers to be like, you know, you know, he's a good kid, vouch for him. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, you could call in, you know,
Cap. Oh no, Cap's fucking
Cap's
old now.
old.
I forgot. No, wait, damn it. Wait, hold on. Is he dead or just old?
Who knows?
Wait a minute. Can we call it 93-year-old Cap right now? Well, I call old ass Cap to the stand. Hold on while he limps up.
I fought with him against Thanos. He was snapped. He was blipped. He got blipped. Can we just talk about the fucking name they...
We'll talk about the blip. First, now I need you to picture when the reason I laughed so hard is because I'm just imagining Captain America, old ass fucking Captain America on the fucking
this young whippersnapper.
No, but you were like, I fought Thanos with him, and then I just like to imagine like it goes to the jury and they're like, what has court become? What the fuck is this?
What even is the world at this point?
Life right now? And yeah, speaking of that, like going to the blip, I love how like that's just casually integrated into the world. So like I loved the story with the guy like, yeah, my wife pretended to be blipped, but she was just cheating on me. I was like, Jesus.
And the kids are just like, it's bullshit. They made us repeat our grade.
Oh yeah, and the fucking like, bro, you know, I told you about how I like edited for our shitty school news like in high school, so that was like really relatable and very true. By the way,
Getty image is fucking thumbnail watermark on it.
The shitty effects with the watermark still, and like, you know, the kids being cringy and awkward. Except in my school, they'd make me edit out any swear words.
Yep. I mean, didn't they bleep the one kid?
Oh, they might have, yeah.
There's
Hello?
What I honestly think they're leading to it. Luke from our comments and our Discord kind of was bringing this up. I kind of could see a story of like with Kraven and the Spider Hunter ship going on now, because he's a fugitive. There'd be a bounty on his head, you know, for everything. So, like, that would be a great way to bring in Kraven the Hunter, like you said.
Slowly morphs into fucking Nicolas Cage Spider-Man from Spider-Verse.
No, I'm undercover now.
I have to sneak around.
I have to don my fedora.
I have to bone my new girlfriend in back alleys and then leave.
Jesus Christ.
That's called the good old fucking dump.
You know? It is what it is when you're that young and that horny.
I may be, you know, literally the most wanted terrorist in the world, but I still got to get my nut off.
It's weird how we're saying this about fucking Spider-Man as young as he is, but
all right,
goddamn,
see,
it's not relatable.
Now I have to edit it out. If you didn't bring it up, I was gonna leave it. You had to bring it up. Good job. Good job.
You don't have to edit it.
I do, because now it's technically kind of gray line creepy.
You can edit out what I said. 3,
We'll
2, 1.
Shut up, bitch.
Shut up, motherfucker. Like, oh, okay, so what's really weird here, though, is when you think about all the technology that Spider-Man has at his disposal, he could, you know, essentially just fucking use Edith to fucking remove everything from the web, too.
Well, and that's actually... yeah, but the damage has been done. I mean, like...
I
don't know if you know this, removing shit from the web is kind of hard. Like,
I know it's kind of hard because there's a mirror to a mirror.
Edith, hold on. I know Edith is godly, but, like, hear me out for a second here. You know, yes, you can delete a picture from a phone when it hasn't been sent, but, like, here's what happens, okay? Even if Edith could, like, delete every single copy of that video from YouTube, some motherfucker, you know, has already downloaded it and saved it to their hard drive and just be like, I'm going to re-upload it now. That's how internet works.
Yeah, I know. So I was thinking about it just ended up getting mirror and it'd be a constant battle to save his image. So, yeah,
And also, I don't know if you know how the world works, but, like, the second you try to censor some shit, more people see it. It's called I believe, the Streisand effect, because it was named after Barbra Streisand was pissed at the media for taking pictures of her house. So right when she was complaining about people taking pictures of her house, everyone started taking pictures of her house.
Yeah.
And you can't, you know, so just trying to censor would almost make it worse. It would make it worse. But
so
let's talk about the Night Monkey.
The Night Monkey. Okay, so the fucking stealth suit's fucking awesome, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know where they were going with, like, giving him another name there other than, you know, the fucking...
Well, no, I mean, it was...
the saving the identity kind of thing.
Yeah, he had to be like, no, it's a shitty fucking
European knockoff.
Yeah, it's a shitty knockoff of Spider-Man, and then he had to fucking come up with something at the last second.
So Mysterio, Night Monkey, fucking. Is Europe in general now going to fucking call upon the Night Monkey now and then?
Bro, we called upon the Night Monkey, and yet he never came.
Well,
maybe Spider-Man can just move back to Europe and become the Night Monkey. No one will ever suspect the thing.
He could do that. Be like, okay, I'm the Night Monkey now, bitch.
I'm the Night Monkey.
I'm not Spider-Man. I just have very similar powers.
But so I do wonder. I do hope that they do more crossover shit in the third, because the third Spider-Man is it's being set up like it's gonna be some badass shit. Bring me some other Avengers. And also, what I want to say is, what do you think about the reveal that Nick Fury this whole time wasn't actually Nick Fury, but he was one of the cloney changey people from Captain Marvel? So
the question, I posted this on my Facebook, like, that leaves so many fucking implications now. That end credit scene is how much of Nick Fury was real Nick Fury, how much of Nick Fury was actually Skrull Nick Fury, aka Talos, how much of Maria Hill was the wife, and how much of Maria Hill was, everybody else. How many motherfuckers are Skrulls at this point? Because the minute they introduce Skrulls into the fucking MCU, there's been the conspiracy theories like, well, Nick Fury was a Skrull and all this other bullshit. Like, well, they kind of played on that meme that's been going around at the same time of. Now it leads into who all's a fucking Skrull on Earth? How much of S.H.I.E.L.D., aka Hydra, was a Skrull? How much of fucking the actual Avengers are being body doubled as Skrulls?
It's worth looking that deeply into. I just think that the way I looked at, because honestly, in retrospect, I thought Fury, looking back at it, Fury was acting weird this entire movie. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, he didn't seem as cool, composed, or intelligent as usual. You know what I mean? So, like, the fact that, like, he didn't call it, like the fact that he was fooled by this, the fact that, like, there was moments where he was just standing there looking all cool, but, like, then, like, afterwards, he's like, oh my god, I'm glad that, you had that, because, like, you know what I mean? Like, I get the vibe that he was basically just told by Nick Fury, like, bitch, I need a vacation or something. Either that or, it does kind of look like he's doing something important. Like, where is he? Do you have any idea, like, with your Marvel knowledge, where he is right now?
No, none at all, really.
So some sort of spaceship?
It looks like he's on the ship from Captain Marvel, where all the Skrulls were stationed. I forget what it was called.
So maybe, like...
That's one of the Marvel movies I've only watched once.
Maybe Captain Marvel will have a bigger role in future MCU movies. Maybe it's setting up.
Well,
is there a sequel to there's a sequel to Captain Marvel, right?
There's eventually going to be.
Maybe it's setting that up. I don't know. Like, I'm curious because what the vibe I get is that Nick Fury was like, "Bitch, I need a vacation, and you owe me one. Fucking, I don't know, take over my roles here." I guess, like, I wasn't thinking of it as, oh, he's been fake Nick Fury this whole time. I was thinking it was recent, but I suppose that's a possibility. Fan theorying. Yeah, no, I guess it's a possibility. I don't know. I don't really know what to make of that. Do you have any idea?
Well, Captain Marvel itself was set in 1991. We're technically in 2019 in the Marvel timeline at this point, I believe.
No. It was it skipped 5 years.
Yeah, so
I think we're in the future, actually.
Well, it depends on a lot of other shit too.
Someone will have to do the math, but I'm pretty sure it like technically the Marvel timeline is in the future, like ahead of our timeline now, from what I understand. But yeah.
Yeah, or it blipped. God, I hate that word. It blipped to current time because the MCU timeline's been all over the place since its inception. So yeah, there was points in time where it was in 2012, points in time where it was in 2018, parts in time where it was 2008. It's a fucking mess. But it's comics, so yeah, it makes sense. So anyway, with Captain Marvel being in 1991, that leaves to us to assume that the Skrulls have been casually fucking, basically Rick and Morty invading our universe and fucking off. Like the one season finale of Rick and Morty. They could be just boop boop.
Yeah.
On and off.
But, like, I assume they're not evil or with malintent anymore because like Nick Fury's kind of cool with them, isn't he?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they could have been body switching for various missions all the time. So it's just one of those things that leaves it up to interpretation until we get an answer. But the reason that the ship kind of plays a role in that is that could technically end up being their new base now that we saw Avengers Manor get destroyed in Endgame, and Captain Marvel has in the past led teams of Avengers, so...
Yeah, I can see it. Now, before we end this video, I want to talk about some of my favorite scenes. The one specifically I want to focus on. Well, I want to focus on, first of all, every single like illusion scene when Peter's just like trapped in these illusions. Because again,
that was beautiful.
What you basically have is a very complex, advanced network of holograms with drones that will actually damage you. So basically, you're just and it truly captured the you will never know what's real and what's not, because the whole time I'm like, was that Nick Fury? Was that not Nick Fury? Oh, now Nick Fury's back. Oh, it wasn't Nick Fury. You know what I mean? But the one I really wanted to focus on was the very end where he has to master the Peter tingle.
See.
No, like that scene though specifically, like where it was flashing back and forth between reality and what he was seeing. It was just shot so beautifully. You can't even deny.
Yeah. No, the first one where you're seeing Mysterio kind of troll with him,
he's having his own Doctor Strange moment.
Yeah, troll with him where he's flashing through all of his different suits and back into the one from Homecoming and everything. So I thought it was even more beautifully shot.
Yes,
just the way
I agree. But I think when you're looking at an action scene from an action scene perspective, it's very rare. Like, you know, I've seen so many action scenes.
The last one from an action scene perspective.
I've seen so many action scenes from so many things. When an action scene can make me go, like, audibly be like, yeah! Like, that's how you know it's good. Like, that was just so satisfying. And it shows when Peter really masters the spider sense, what that can do for him.
The Peter tinkle?
Yeah, well, you called it tinkle, which is even worse. But, no, I mean, yeah, like that was just, oh my god. Like, the problem is you can't really dissect a visual thing through dialogue alone, but just know that scene looked fucking amazing.
Oh yeah, like the monkey hopping from drone to drone too was fucking beautiful.
Oh,
there's so many
good action.
There's so many great action scenes, and in a kind of non-Marvel way, they weren't cut so much.
Yeah.
So they were more fluid in this movie. So I absolutely adored that. I hate like the James Bond, SWAT style. Cut.
Well, yeah, that's how you know the filmmakers are either being lazy or there's like a stunt double for the stunt double's stunt double.
Yeah. Well, I mean, especially because I love shitty action movies.
Yeah.
You saw a lot of that in like the Resident Evil movies where they're like.
Which is why we like Chainsaw Man, which is the manga version of a shitty action movie.
Oh god, yes. But like you would see like the cuts and you could see visually and how the fucking photography's done, how they're not even caring, that you can plainly see the stunt double in a lot of those scenes. Here you can't tell if it's Tom Holland's stunt double or if it's actually him.
That's the beauty. Oh, it's also the beauty with a masked superhero.
Well, even masked, you can tell sometimes. Like, okay, there's obviously more of a gut.
Well, a lot of those scenes, I wonder if it's like actually a dude in a suit doing that, or if it's just CGI. Honestly, with how good CGI's gotten.
That is true as well. Like some of them, you can see, okay, this guy's got more of a gut in the suit, so it's clearly a stunt double. Or like, especially in like fucking Guardians of the Galaxy, you can see where the stunt doubles are a little bit, but. And that's not to detract from those being good movies. It's just, that's poor framing or rushed editing to get it out on the 3-movie-a-year budget. But it's really, really weird when we get these so fucking fluid of fucking cut, fucking action scenes that they're so masterfully done. That's why, unlike the one with the drones as much. I love the one where he's basically going through his own like fucking fear-based, what's real, what's not, where he's going through the suit changes and everything. It just is a nice little homage to how Spider-Man has grown, and he's just essentially, without having his spider sense, being regressed into the little fucking kid.
So the scene I really wanted to talk about before we ended was the scene, and this actually got me emotional, was where he needed a suit and he was in that ship with Happy, and he opens that thing up and he starts fucking just literally being Tony Stark. Like,
yeah,
and like with him, like, you know, like doing the thing where he put his arm in the hologram and he's like adjusting things and building things, and Happy is like getting emotional because he was like best friends with Tony, and he's like, oh my god, your legacy lives on.
You're literally.
Oh my god, go ahead.
That was beautiful.
That got me. I was tearing up a little bit because like he was just. Tom Holland played that so well, where he literally he looked like the child of Tony Stark. And I know I'm aware that Tony Stark actually has a child. Fuck that child. No one gives a shit. Spider-Man's the real child of Tony Stark.
Confirmed here. No, but honestly, I love the technology they have for the suit there. It's essentially 3D printing him a fucking suit.
Yeah, I know. See, they've done such a good job at like modernizing all these fucking movies, like with the drones and the 3D printing. Like, it just feels like it's really taking place in this world, and they do such a good job at making it all feel believable in this world.
You know, I can't imagine how difficult it is to get adjusted from going from a sweatsuit to a fucking 3D printed fucking bodysuit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm used to wearing my hoodie, and now I'm wearing this 3D mesh shit. Oh.
Let's see.
The
other comedy part I wanted to talk about was the whole fucking...
Okay, did you catch the web shooter joke where he's like, it's a lot more fluid around my web shooter or something like that?
Oh, yeah, I did.
I'm just like, no.
I was like, okay.
A dick joke in a Spider-Man movie.
Hold on a second. Yeah. Siri, how old is Tom Holland? He's 22! We can make dick jokes! Okay. Oh my god, that actually is like a sigh of relief. Wait, hold on. What's the actress's name that plays MJ?
Zendaya?
That doesn't help.
Alright, let me...
I need to know so we can make jokes!
I'm Googling, bitch!
I'm Googling too! Why does Michael Jackson come up? Okay.
She's 22 as well.
Oh my god. The jokes that I was scared about from earlier, I don't have to cut them now!
Isn't that amazing?
I thought they were actually like that age, dude. Like, I straight up, they look young as fuck, bro. They pull off the young look. Jesus.
I mean, they fucking pulling off young for old people has been a thing since sitcoms.
Yeah, but like, is that like makeup? Or is that just actually how young they look? Like, what the fuck?
The perks of Hollywood blood.
No, like, MJ straight up looks like a high schooler. Like, how the fuck?
They're sucking the youth out of all the kids in Hollywood.
No, they're fucking injecting it into MJ.
I mean, goddamn, dude. It's scary how well they can capture the young kid look. It's been a thing for years, though. That doesn't shock me that they're in their 20s. I mean, fucking Friends, there were people in their 30s looking like they're fucking 20s. No, it's not hard to take 10 years off of somebody.
Okay. Well, I'm going to need to get into contact with some of these people once I'm old and ugly. Let's see. Another thing. I wanted to bring up the hilarious, short-lived relationship between best friend and blonde small girl that I don't know either of the names of.
Okay, so...
Bro, that whole thing was just the literal dictionary definition of young, stupid, unfounded love.
Yep.
Like, okay, God, I don't want to call... David, there's a certain person that you and I know. I won't say the name, but she's been in many relationships, and every time she gets in one, we're like, this ain't gonna last, and then it doesn't last, and then...
I'll give her credit. This current one's lasted the longest out of any since I've known her.
Are we thinking of the same person?
Yeah,
no, you're thinking of other person that gets into shitty relationships. I'm thinking of other person.
Oh, okay. Never mind, then.
No, the one... I'll stop. But yeah, like, I've seen many of these relationships where it's the whole relationship is just like coming sweetie, coming babe, coming, oh my god.
I'm like, okay, this is high school. This is real high school dialogue right here.
Cringe, bro. Like, I was like, I couldn't do it, man.
I was that. So
everyone was. Because it makes you think of your dumb fucking relationships. And, like, the human mind, bro, it just pisses me off. Because when you're in a relationship for the first time, you're just inevitably going to fall into the cringe. Like, you're gonna do all the cringy shit. And then you're going to get... Facebook is going to remind you every year, like, hey, 2 years ago, you were doing some cringy shit with someone that you don't love anymore. Great!
Yeah, pretty much.
You were pandering and selling your soul on Facebook by writing like a 3-paragraph thing about how much you love this person to try to get laid, and now you don't love It's too real, bro.
Like, I'm looking at the scene where they're texting right next to each other. Miss you more. I'm like, oh God, my soul.
Yeah.
I couldn't help but chuckle a little bit some of it too, because I'm like, this is so.
That were cute, and there were parts of it that were cringe, but like it was intentional cringe.
Oh yeah, it definitely was. Like, I'm looking at that, and I'm looking at Life is Strange 2's latest episode. And I'm like, there are finally people that are actually recapturing that perfectly. That first relationship, or that first, you know, in the case of Life is Strange, you know, that first sexual experience. Like, it's so fucking weird. Like, it's so weird how we went from this unnatural, you know, depiction of romance in media,
like,
and
what
now
was the
we're actually
really bad sex scenes from that one. What was the game? Fuck. Oh God, the game with something.
Yeah, so Mass Effect.
Yeah, the shitty Mass Effect that had bad sex scenes, right?
They weren't bad. They were just unnatural.
Orgasm faces from your nightmares.
Okay, so graphics weren't the greatest for Mass Effect 1 through Andromeda. But no, like, we went from that shitty era of like nobody could understand young love or young relationships or young, you know, that first experience, to now there are people from our generation that can actually recall that and put it into fucking media and not make it feel like
take over. You'll find that shit will get better. Some shit might get worse, but I think most shit will get better. Especially government. Keep an eye out for that one.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like, a few years ago, we were like, oh God, it's so cringe. Like, it's going into an algorithm of like, what would teenagers say in this loving situation? It is kind of
cool. Like, I feel like we're gonna go into an era where we see, like, all the shit we want to get made, people of our age are now growing up and making it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's kind of cool.
So it's just fucking reassuring that we're going to see more natural media. Obviously, we're going to have, you know, that older generation that's still there, you know, doing the dialogue for a lot of movies, so it'll take its time. But this felt, like you said, like I've been saying, like actual young love, and it's the stupidity of it. So it's kind of, yeah.
Any other things you want to talk about with this movie, David?
So, the other thing I really, really want to touch on, from the Mysterio standpoint, with the flash drive that the tech guy got. So that there it leads you to wonder, did he carbon copy Edith onto that?
I feel like Tony Stark, I just get the vibe that he wouldn't just, like, he would design it where it couldn't just be, like, easily like copy pasted onto a shitty flash drive.
Yeah, but you also have to realize that Tony Stark is a reckless motherfucker too. So
yeah, Tony Stark's like, yeah, I got like 3 copies of Edith on my flash drive that I keep in my pantsuit pocket.
So it's definitely interesting to see what was on that, or if that was just the footage that was delivered to the Daily Bugle.
Here you go, Mr. President. If I give you a flash drive copy of Edith, will you stop texting me?
Yeah, it's so there's so many little tiny things in this movie that are like were set up from previous movies and are also the setup for our future movies, obviously.
The funny part is the president needs congressional approval to use Edith. I don't.
Yeah, true.
I can just use it whenever I want. That's what little does he know.
It's obviously we have no Marvel movies till 2020 now. So
what?
Yeah, this was the last one for the year.
Time to kill myself.
There's no new Marvel movies, so obviously we'll be going through the remainder of our retrospective on Marvel movies.
Wait, so what's the next one? Do we know? What's
really
scheduled for 2020?
We don't know. We gotta wait till Comic-Con.
Disgusting.
So we know that Black Widow and Black Panther and
a lot of black. That's not
Doctor
racist.
Strange.
I am down with all of the black. I just want to clarify.
We got Doctor Strange. We got Shang-Chi, supposedly. So there's a lot of things that are in the works, but we really don't know what goes into what slot.
I need to pull Thurman in this video for him to be like, just to confirm, Red is a brother. Because I guarantee you that's what he would say. Red's a brother.
Yeah. He can use the N card.
The N card. No, yeah. I'm excited to see what comes out. James Gunn best be getting his ass on Guardians of the Galaxy 3 because I need that in my life.
You know, it's the script's wrote already.
Right,
it's
but
just,
did the script include Thor?
Who knows?
I need it. I need it. What the fuck else is Chris Hemsworth doing? Shitty Men in Black reboots? I didn't think so.
That didn't do so well.
Yeah, clearly he should fall back to Thor.
It's the script that sucked, man.
Yeah. He's great. I love him. But I just want everyone to know, if Guardians of the Galaxy 3 comes out and Thor isn't in it, I will riot. And I'm not talking about none of that fucking like cameo for 30 seconds bullshit. No. He needs to be in it. Because
you want as Guardians of the Galaxy.
Here's the shit they could do. I could totally see them pulling this shit, right? Like some like one-off fucking line, like, oh yeah, he was with us for a while, and then he got dropped off at this planet, and then it shows him for 30 seconds just going nuts on something. No, fuck that shit. I want him back. I want him as a main character of the Guardians. Please, Jesus, do this for me. Thank you.
Yeah,
this has been my rant.
There's a lot they could do with that. There's a lot that. See, what interests me now is we have no Cap, obviously. Well, we got Falcon, but he's doing that Disney Plus TV show.
Disgusting. Where's the Loki TV show? When's that coming out?
Whenever they decide to announce it. I guess I'm going to have to watch Comic-Con panels.
I'm very curious about the Loki, because like I know Tom Hiddleston, or is that, yeah, it's his name, right? Yeah, Tom Hiddleston. Yep. He like really likes playing Loki, right?
Oh yeah, he does.
Because like from what I understood, he was like this is what I'd heard. Please correct me if this is just fake news, internet style. But like what I heard was that he liked playing Loki so much that he practically begged them to like do a TV show.
I don't know if there's any validity to that. Obviously, I know he obviously clearly enjoys doing it.
Because you know, it's usually the opposite. Usually actors are like, no, I'm not going to do a shitty TV spinoff. You know what I mean? So like, exactly. That's really cool that if it is confirmed that Tom Hiddleston's coming back for the TV show, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, there's a lot that we need to learn in the next few. You know, I think Comic-Con's in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh, yes.
We still need to do our E3 video, and we're going to be doing a Comic-Con video probably about all the Marvel shit.
Oh yeah, that's on you guys. You got to do that E3 video. But either way. Final thoughts on Spider-Man before we close out here.
So what this leads to now, obviously, is we have the repercussions of his identity being given out. There's so many things I want them to fucking do in the Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. I can't help it. There's so much shit I want them to do with Spider-Man, but with Sony holding the franchise by the fucking balls, I don't know if they can do half the shit I want them to do.
I mean, I feel like Sony, I don't think is stupid enough to like tell Marvel what to do at this point. I feel like Sony is. It reminds me, like, you know what? Sony at this point is like the parent of a very talented and successful child. Like, I see Sony as like the parent, like prancing around their talented like artist of a fucking child or something, and then the parents taking credit for all of it. Like, yup, that was me. I birthed that. You know, so like the vibe I get from this. I bought
that when Marvel was going bankrupt.
Yeah, the vibe I get from this is that like they don't really tell Marvel anything what to do, period. And Marvel just and like the deal is like, okay, just do what you want, but put our name on it and give us like some of the profits. That's the vibe I get. I don't think they would stop that, because Marvel has proven themselves to be literally money printing machines. So I don't really see them being like, "Fuck you, Marvel." Clearly, our decisions are better.
We gave you Venom with Tom Hardy.
Yeah,
it wasn't horrible.
Whatever. I mean, so yeah. But wrapping this up, a question I want to ask. I want to ask you 2 questions. Question number 1 is, where does Mysterio rank in your Marvel villains?
In the Marvel villains that we got from the MCU?
Yes.
He's definitely, out of the creativity they've done with him, you know, how they've used him, I'd say he's pretty high up there, you know, sub-Loki level.
Gotcha. And then the other question is, this movie as a whole, where, and you don't have to have an exact answer, but whereabouts does it rank in your Marvel movies? Because for me, it's top 5 easy.
It's definitely hitting in my top 5. I definitely got to reponder my list at this point. But honestly, it's definitely not Infinity War Endgame level.
Of course.
But it's definitely definitely better than any of the Thors, the Homecoming.
I thought Ragnarok was very fun, but yeah.
Ragnarok was fun. It was just campy for campy's sake. So
Ragnarok, bro. Oh, I gotta rewatch that. It's on Netflix still, right? Before they fucking take it.
I believe so.
Yeah, no. I would say this is better than any of the Thors. Since I was thinking about it, what would I rather rewatch? And it'd be this.
So it's because currently my top 5 are like Endgame, Infinity War, Homecoming, Civil War, Winter Soldier.
You think Homecoming's better than this?
No. That's my current top 5 before I redo
I'm telling you, like, here's the thing, right? Now, Spider-Verse will always be the best Spider-Man movie, period. But I'm easily saying this is the best live-action Spider-Man movie, easily.
Oh, yeah, this is definitely above Homecoming, and on retrospect, I think I'm going to reshuffle my entire list.
Honestly, I really didn't care for Homecoming. Like it was just a Spider-Man movie to me. The best part of Homecoming was him, fucking around with the suit. I don't know if you've noticed a pattern. I like watching Peter Parker fuck around with Stark Tech.
Yeah, it's definitely the more endearing part of it because he's a genius. He's always been, the genius. But the MCU has its way of integrating the comic concepts, it's putting their own spin on it, while also modernizing it to a perfect fucking degree. The only thing I disliked about fucking Far From Home was the whole like trip being used as a fucking mechanism to get them where they wanted. I would have rather Spider-Man kind of rebelled and kind of led more into like the Venom shit, because obviously Venom.
You might get that in the third one. I mean, if the whole world's against him, we might see a darker side of Peter.
I mean, the Venom symbiote kind of exists in its own way, so it's definitely fucking. It's what we need to see at this point, because you notice every third movie we get that Venom symbiote. Just for the love of God, no dance scene.
I can see them making a joke about it, like he almost starts one, and then someone's like, "No!" Like Ryan Reynolds pops in.
We get the Deadpool cameo.
First of all, we need to start doing that, and the fact that they aren't is disgusting to me. Now, I do have one other question for you. I keep thinking of them. This is an important one, right? So one of the criticisms I hear a lot, and I'm honestly torn about it. Like, I don't think it's a bad criticism, but I also don't think it ruins the movies. But a lot of people don't like the whole Spider-Man is being carried by Iron Man's technology. It seems like he's just an Iron Man Jr. Iron Man gives him everything. What do you think about that?
I don't really care.
All right, cool.
It's definitely... It's an interesting take, but they've set him up to kind of, it seems like, lead a Young Avengers kind of line. So you'd have your Vision, your Scarlet Witch, and depending on how quickly they integrate the fucking X-Men, they could bring back Quicksilver even.
Didn't he die?
He died, but there's also the version in the X-Men universe, which they also own now, so he could have got blipped back to life. Well... They get fucking multiverse, man. Who knows at this point?
See, I think that the fact that Mysterio is lying gets them out of the multiverse situation, honestly.
True. It's very weird. Because they've kind of dropped the multiverse line twice at this point. From what I've been watching a lot of the fucking retrospects on the MCU shit.
And one last, and I keep saying that, but there's so many things to talk about. The other thing I want to talk about, too, was you were talking earlier in this video about how one of the themes of the threequel might be the fact that, like, it's hard to know what objective truth is, right? Like, they were talking about the line, I think it was MJ that said, like, we're living in a world where objective truth is, like, less and less of a thing every day, right?
Right.
And Orwell said that, and my God, is he right? Like especially these days, Jesus. Now, and that was something that Mysterio touched on a bunch, too, where he was like, these days, anyone will believe anything. So I had to make them believe in something or something like that. I don't remember exactly what he said. So there's a lot of like theming with that where it's like people are just gullible. And since it's hard to tell between truth and lies, people will either believe nothing or believe everything. There are people out there that just think everything's a lie. To the earth being round, people think that's a lie. And then there's people that just blindly accept everything.
Yeah.
So I think that considering there was a lot of talk of that in this movie, that might be a theme in the third one for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. In an age, I love how they're using like Flash as a social media vlogger. They're doing all sorts of other shit.
That fucking douchey kid that was like a shitty YouTuber. I couldn't stand him.
Yeah, but I mean,
what's up, guy?
What's up, guys? Flash here. But when you think about it, that's kind of the society we live in. Like, he could have said anything in those live streams, and people would have believed everything.
Oh yeah.
Because that fucking orbital line is beautifully accurate for our generation. So, I mean, we have anti-vaxxers, causing fucking outbreaks. We have flat earthers going rampant. It's so fucking. We're in such an unrealistic timeline while being the most realistic at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's definitely the theme that would be there. So how many people would just blindly believe that Spider-Man's a mass murderer? And how many people would believe, the truth that, he's being set up by doctored footage? How many people will still be on his side? Or how many people will just blindly believe that, yeah, he went to the dark side? It seems like that's the theme they're setting up for the threequel.
Yeah.
And that would be a perfect time to introduce, like Luke said, and I brought up, like, the Spider Slayers. It would be a perfect time to start setting up, like, the Sinister Six. It would be the perfect time to set up, these massive battles, while also teetering on that dark side, that Venom, or maybe bringing Carnage or something along those lines that are a real credible threat, while also not relying on so much of the tech that we've seen with Vulture, building a fucking wingsuit, with fucking Mysterio having an army of drone monsters that were disguised as elementals.
Well, let's also remember, what was the big mistake of the original Spider-Man 3? It was trying to cram too much shit into one movie.
Oh, yeah.
So let's make sure, like they should probably pick one thing and run with it and not try to pick a million things.
Yeah, there's definitely a fine line that they're going to have to fucking figure out moving forward, because the threequel's always the weakest trilogy. And at the same time, it's always the most memed because of that.
So far,
but it's also the most impact.
Good.
It's also the most impactful.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what it's funny that you say that, because so far it is following the same trend. Because if we're going off of Raimi, 1 was good, 2 was amazing, 3 was shitty. So far, 1 was good and 2 was amazing. So I certainly hope that they pull it off for 3. If anyone can do it, Marvel can.
Yeah, well, to the contrary though, like, you had Amazing Spider-Man 1, which was good, Amazing Spider-Man 2, which was goddamn dog shit, and you never got the third one.
Yeah, but I almost don't even consider those. Like, those were just such an anomaly to me. Like, I thought both of the Amazing Spider-Mans were shitty.
They had the quick wit, but definitely right. they weren't. The quick wit of Andrew Garfield was pretty spot on for the character, but aside from that,
off-topic Achievement Hunter that kind of broke down the difference between that Spider-Man and the current one. Like, someone that I was watching was talking about how that's, like, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man was, like, it really embodied the quick-witted, cocky, douchey Spider-Man.
Yep.
Like the always has a fucking jab, Spider-Man, whereas Tom Holland really embodies the awkward, like, high school Spider-Man,
Yep. So. And they're both very good iterations.
I thought Andrew Garfield as an actor did fine as Spider-Man.
It's just he was handed a pile of shit.
There's no really memories of that movie to me. It's just kind of exists in my mind. I barely even remember it.
But the straightening of the teeth by fucking electrocution.
Haha. But yeah, we should end this because we're coming up on an hour now. So final thoughts, David.
So yeah, it's definitely based on what we know is in the works. We obviously don't have a threequel in the works yet.
No, we do. Tom Holland in his always spoiling shit thing that he does. Basically, he was on a talk show maybe a year ago, and he was talking about how he was. He was talking about how he was contracted for a 2 and a 3, and they were like a 3, and he was like, "Fuck." So it exists. We know that.
Yeah. Or was he trolling at this point?
No. It exists. You can't have a fucking cliffhanger like that and not have it exist.
No, I'm curious how, because they seem to be moving away from the solo hero movies in general.
Maybe it'll happen in another crossover, is what you're saying?
Yeah, it could be like a crossover. Like, okay, so Spider-Man has to clear his name with X hero.
Well, they kept talking about Doctor Strange in this one. Like, there was a lot of like, oh, was that Doctor Strange? And he was saying, why don't you get Doctor Strange? Wouldn't it be cool to see a Doctor Strange Spider-Man team up?
Yeah, it would. So that could be what we get,
I love it.
Because let's face it, with Ant-Man, they even threw the Wasp in the sequel for that.
Yeah, like, who are all the heroes that are still on Earth right now? That's what we gotta think about. Ant-Man's still on Earth. Doctor Strange, I assume, is still on Earth.
Yep.
Let me think here. We got Falcon, I guess.
Winter Soldier.
Bucky. Yeah, I suppose. I'm just trying to think who would... I can see Ant-Man working with Spider-Man. Bro, give me Ant-Man and Spider-Man, please. The insect boys! Give it to me!
Or we also have Hawkeye.
Oh, shit. I love Hawkeye. I miss him already.
Or Ronan. It depends on which way they want to go with it.
No. He can't be Ronan when his family's back, bro. Ronan's for angry Hawkeye. Ronan's for when his wife's feeling a little kinky and he needs to roleplay. Like, oh, can you fuck me as Ronan tonight, please? All right, I guess.
Yeah, let me go get the dildo arrow.
I'm gonna avenge you, dead wife, by fucking you real hard.
Jesus Christ. Okay, that was a thing.
David, I'm bringing all the fucking comedy, man. You gotta step it.
like there's, I think Wanda's still there. Scarlet Witch, fucking. Out of that, I don't know who else would be on Earth. Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor are off-world. Yeah. Fucking Captain Marvel.
Fuck Captain Marvel. Fuck that bitch.
She's off-world. Like, do we consider Hulk a hero, or is he still fucking? Is he still one-armed boy?
I don't know if it's possible, but I would like it if they went the direction of some of the others. I know there's comics in Spider-Man where Gwen gets the powers.
Yep, Spider-Gwen.
Come on. Give Gwen some power. Or not Gwen. Did I say Gwen? I'm sorry. MJ.
Well, MJ has had moments.
Oh, okay.
It never lasts long.
Man. I saw him, and when MJ's holding the fucking spiked ball thing, there's a name for that. What is it called?
What?
The spiked ball weapon she had? There's a name for it.
Oh, the mace.
Thank you. When she's holding the mace, and I'm just seeing her awkwardly carry that around, I'm like, okay. We're in a generation of strong, empowered women here. You know it would fit, and I don't see this movie keeping her the useless, heroine that gets kidnapped or something. I don't see that happening in 2019.
No.
So either A, they got to write her out completely, which I wouldn't want to see happen, or B, I think it'd be cool if Peter's like, all right, I'm just gonna lead you over to the radioactive spider den.
What I think she'll end up doing is being, the behind the scenes,
coordinating. The fucking April O'Neil or whatever.
Yeah, essentially like that for a while, and then eventually go into. Tom Holland said he wants to play Spider-Man forever, so going into.
What a badass! I would love, bro. That means Spider-Man movie. He could grow up. We could see Spider-Man.
I was gonna say we could go into the Renew Your Vows storyline, which is not as well. We could go into a lot of the other shit. I don't want to go too far down the comic vault because obviously they don't fully adapt anything. They just take bits and pieces.
Tom Holland for next Spider-Verse. Let's go.
I'd be down with it.
Oh. Well, anyway, at an hour and 2 minutes, should we wrap this up?
There's just so much to talk about with this movie, so yeah, we should probably wrap this up and leave it.
You cut off. That was a shitty time to cut off. Try again.
I was saying there's so much to talk about this movie, so that's why I ran so long. But we should wrap it up, yeah, and then talk about whatever they announce at Comic-Con and the next one.
With that, peace.